Today I'm cooking with Tam. I'm going to show you how to make this delicious viral TikTok Alfredo meat sauce pasta. So without further ado, let's get to cooking. Here's the ingredients for today's recipe. First thing we're going to do is we're going to add our meat to the pan. All of the ingredients that I chose for this recipe is not all the way similar to what I saw on TikTok. However, we're cooking with Tammy, right? So we're going to do it Tammy style. And I can promise and guarantee you that it's going to come out absolutely delicious. While our ground meat is cooking, let's add some pasta to a pot and let's get that started. We're going to cook the meat until it's no longer pink. All right, let's have some fun. Time to season. And before I forget to mention, if there's any excess oil in the pan, be sure to drain it off. All right, we want it to be non-greasy. I'm gonna add some garlic to the middle of the pan, just like that. Gonna give it some time to toast up. Just let it sit here, let it get nice and hot and become fragrant. And in the meanwhile, let's season. We're gonna add some garlic powder. Why are you adding garlic paste and garlic powder? Different taste and different flavor profile, that's why. Let's add some adobo. We're going to add some paprika for color. Add a good amount. We're also going to add some Cajun seasoning. Little boost of flavor, along with some all-purpose seasoning. Onion powder, and a couple pinches of ground black pepper. All right, let's combine everything together. If your seasonings are low in sodium and it doesn't contain salt, maybe you could add a little pinch of salt. If you want to, of course. I added adobo, so there's no need for the extra salt. But season the meat to your liking with your favorite seasonings. We're going to add our onions and diced bell peppers. Give that a good mix as well. At this point in time, lower the flame and allow those onions to cook until they're slightly softened and translucent, and allow these veggies to break down slightly. I'm going to create somewhat of a steam effect because I want the meat to be nice and softened, all right? So I'm going to add just a little bit of water to pick the steam up. And that's going to help the meat to become nice and tender. I'm going to add a little bit of bouillon because I want to amplify the flavors in our ground beef. If you notice, I didn't add much simply because bouillon goes a far way. It doesn't take much to get those flavors together. At this point in time, give the ground meat a quick taste. And if you want to add some additional seasonings, you definitely can. However, we are going to introduce our pasta sauce to the mix. All right, I'm going to add a little bit of water to this jar and get all of the contents out of it. Just get it in there. All right, time for us to add our herbs. I'm going to add some thyme, dried thyme. However, if you have fresh thyme, you definitely can add that. We're also going to add some rosemary, okay, along with our dried oregano. And of course our dried basil. I love basil. Give it a good mix. Make sure everything is perfectly incorporated. And at this point in time, we're going to allow our meat sauce to come to a slow simmer and allow all of those flavors to intertwine. I'm going to add a small amount of sugar to neutralize some of the acidity in our pasta. Not pasta, but pasta sauce. Stir it on in really good. It's not going to make the pasta sauce sweet. Trust me, it's not enough. We're not adding the entire 5-pound bag. Just about a tablespoon or two, and that's all we need. All right, we're gonna add our Rotel to this mix. Fold that on in. And at this point in time, like I said, we're going to lower the flame and we're going to place a lid on top of our meat sauce and we're going to allow it to come to a slow simmer. And that's it. We're not going to add anything else to the meat sauce. All right, lovelies, to our pan, we're going to add some butter. I'm going to add some garlic. Add a good amount of garlic. Let's get this garlic nice and toasted, fragrant and aromatic. Once that happens, we are going to introduce our heavy cream. Stir that on in, make sure everything is perfectly combined. And you know what? I want this recipe to be nice and wet, saucy, all right? So we're going to add a little bit more of heavy cream. Add some more. Perfect. I want to add some cream cheese. Allow that to melt down as well. The pan is no longer as hot, so it's going to take a little while for it to break down, but no worries, not a rush. I want to season in the meanwhile, however, all right? Because we don't want to bland Alfredo sauce. So I want to add some all-purpose seasoning. If you don't have this all-purpose chicken seasoning, then you can definitely order it at cookingwithtammy.shop. And you can even get it on TikTok as well. TikTok shop, Cooking with Tammy, of course. And once it comes up to temperature, we're going to add our Parmesan cheese. All right, to boost the flavors, let's add a little bit of chicken bouillon. If you don't want to add it, you don't have to. All right, perfect. Our milk is coming back up to temperature, so we're going to introduce our Parmesan cheese. Make it rain. And we're just going to take our time and stir it in. Due to the fact that we are using Parmesan cheese and heavy cream, it's going to thicken up our sauce without a problem. Now, however, if you do opt to use half and half, because maybe the heavy cream is too rich in flavor, then it's going to take either a little bit more Parmesan cheese to thicken it up, or you may have to take the route of creating a roux. After you add the butter and the garlic, then you may want to introduce a little bit of all-purpose flour and basically make a roux as if you're making mac and cheese. If you realize it's not bubbling, it's not like coming to a rolling boil, we don't need that. Right now the flame is on low heat and that's about it. We want a nice creamy sauce that's not going to separate. Check out our sauce. Beautiful. All right. So with that being said, let's go for that pasta. We're going to introduce our pasta into our Alfredo sauce. Gonna take our time. We're gonna combine the Alfredo sauce into the pasta. As I said earlier, doesn't matter. Use any type of pasta. Whatever your favorite pasta is what you're gonna use. Now this is what? This is saucy. You could just tell by the wetness that it's good to go. Once it makes that noise, you know it's fire. Now, if you want to just make the Alfredo sauce and enjoy your pasta with just the Alfredo sauce, this is the recipe right here. Get your biggest casserole dish ready. And let's go. Gonna add it to our casserole dish just like that. We're gonna get a spatula, of course, and we're gonna scrape out all of this beautiful sauce out of this pan. There's no way we're gonna put this pan in the sink. Not like that. Straighten it out just a bit. Get it situated, and boom, we're ready to go. As promised, we are gonna scrape this pan out. So handy to have one of these right here. Not only for when you're making a batter or cake mix, but for situations like this. We're gonna come in with our ground meat mixture. And we're gonna add it to the top just like that. And we're gonna take our time and just spread it on out. Now, if you wanna go in and layer as if you're making lasagna, what I mean is if you wanna add, let's say maybe some meat sauce first, followed by pasta Alfredo, followed by some more meat sauce, maybe some cheese in between, you definitely can. All right, there's no right or wrong way to make this recipe. All right, we are gonna go in with adding some cheese to the top. Add your favorite blend of cheeses, really doesn't matter. As I said earlier, I'm using a triple cheddar cheese blend. If you got Fiesta in the fridge like I do, you can use Fiesta as well. If you got straight mozzarella, add some mozzarella. I've seen a couple videos on TikTok about this viral meat sauce pasta, but trust me, it was not made like this. I'm a little extra in everything that I do, especially when it comes to cooking. So I gotta rock with what I know tastes absolutely great and what's gonna be even more complimentary if we add certain things versus just adding the basics. And that, my friends, goes into a 350-degree Fahrenheit oven, uncovered until it's melted and nice and bubbly. All right, guys, our viral meat pasta Alfredo is done. Woo, this looks so beautiful. All it took was about 20 minutes because my oven was already preheated. So let's dig into this beautiful Alfredo meat pasta. Wow, this is some good stuff, y'all. And you know what? Garnish it with even more parsley and definitely dig in. So worth it, guys. As always, I'm your girl cooking with Tammy. Catch you later.